me a moment. I think we seem to have lost that video line with Minister Scindia. I will try and get him back as quickly as is possible. I'm also joined in this broadcast by my colleague Sourav Majumdar, the editor of Business Today magazine. Sourav, very clear messaging that jobs is now the first and central agenda of what the government is trying to do and fix.
Yes, Rahul, and we've been discussing this even before the budget and the countdown, that some of the central themes, of course, jobs is going to be critical, not just for employment generation itself, but also to boost demand. And that has been a big problem earlier, the consumption problem. And I think the whole idea, therefore, putting the jobs problem at the center is to also boost demand by giving more jobs, giving more money in the hands of people who would then eventually spend. So I think it's very clear that, the government has recognized. And the good news here, Rahul, is that here is I think this budget proves conclusively that some of these problems, which even the economic survey yesterday pointed out, have been addressed. At least the statement of intent is there to address some of these problems by, some of the steps this budget has taken.
What's the reaction that you've picked up so far about the impact you think these incentives will have? It's one thing to create employment-linked incentives, to incentivize internships in the 500 big companies. How likely is it to have additional incremental job creation?
See, that's the issue. The proof of the pudding will have to be in the eating. But I think the initial reactions which the corporate chieftains, which we have been speaking to, is that, here is this budget which has now put the ball firmly in the court of the private sector. Because, yesterday also in the economic survey very clearly said the private sector now must start playing its role. The government has done what it needs to do. Today's budget is another example of what the government is doing and expects now the private sector to take the ball forward. I think, that's very clear, and the corporate chieftains seem to be understanding that now is the time for them to do it.
I'm told that Minister Scindia is now back with us. We had a bandwidth freeze, and it's interesting that it happened with the communications minister of all people.